It was a warm afternoon when Daniel spotted a small, delicate cocoon hanging from the branch of an old oak tree in his backyard. Something about it caught his attention. Each day, he would step outside with his cup of tea and check on it, marveling at nature's quiet, hidden work. Weeks passed, and Daniel grew oddly attached to the little cocoon, feeling as if he were waiting for a miracle to happen. Then one morning, as the sunlight danced through the leaves, he noticed movement. A tiny slit had appeared, and inside, the butterfly was struggling to push its way out. Daniel sat down on the grass, his eyes locked on the scene. He watched as the butterfly wriggled and pushed, its fragile body twisting in what looked like a battle too big for such a small creature. Minutes became hours, and still, the butterfly seemed trapped, the opening barely wide enough for it to pass. Daniel's heart ached. He thought, why should it suffer like this? Moved by compassion, he decided to help. Fetching a small pair of scissors from his shed, he carefully snipped the edge of the cocoon, widening the hole. The butterfly slipped out with ease. At first, Daniel smiled, relieved that he had freed it from its struggle, but his joy was short-lived. The butterfly's body was swollen, its wings tiny and crumpled. He waited for it to open them, to dry in the warmth of the morning sun, to take that first graceful flight. But it never happened. Instead, it crawled feebly on the ground, unable to lift itself. Hours passed, and the realization slowly hit Daniel. This butterfly would never fly. Later, he learned that the struggle to push through the narrow cocoon opening is nature's way of forcing fluid from the body into the wings, giving them the strength to spread and fly. By helping, he had unintentionally robbed it of the very struggle that would have made it strong enough to live. Daniel sat silently, feeling a heavy truth sink in. He thought of his own life. How many times had he wished for an easier path? How many times had he begged for someone to take away his pain? Yet, it was his struggles that had shaped him, taught him resilience, and given him wings to face the world. He remembered his father's illness, the years of financial hardship, the rejection letters from jobs he desperately wanted, dull moments that had felt unbearable at the time, but had carved a strength into him he now carried every day. He realized the same applied to the people around him. Sometimes, when we step in to help, thinking we are saving someone, we may be stealing the very challenge that would have given them the power to stand on their own. Daniel knelt beside the butterfly, whispering, "I'm sorry." That night, he sat at his desk and began writing in his journal. Struggles are not punishments. They are preparation. The fight is the gift. Over the following weeks, Daniel found himself looking at life differently. When his young nephew struggled to tie his shoelaces, he resisted the urge to do it for him. When a friend called, complaining about a difficult boss, Daniel listened without rushing to offer solutions. He understood now that growth often comes dressed in discomfort. Months later, in that same backyard, another cocoon appeared on the old oak. This time, Daniel watched again. When the moment came, he saw the butterfly struggle, hours of relentless pushing, resting, pushing again. He fought the urge to intervene. And then, as the sun began to set, the butterfly broke free, its wings unfolding in the golden light. Within minutes, it lifted off into the air, carried by a strength born of its struggle. Daniel smiled, knowing he had witnessed not just a transformation, but a lesson to many of us forget. The very trials we try to escape are often the ones that prepare us for flight. So, the next time you see someone or even yourself fighting through something hard, remember the butterfly. Remember that ease is not always kindness, and struggle is not always cruelty. Sometimes, the kindest thing you can do is to let the process happen. Like, share, and subscribe for more powerful life lessons. And tell us in the comments, what was one struggle in your life that made you stronger?